My name is Matthew Buffa. I'm from Barker College in Hornsby, and I built a brain-controlled robotic prosthetic claw. The purpose of the claw and why it is different to maybe other forms of robotic prosthesis, such as the eye-limb robotic arm, is its price. This claw was entirely constructed in under $400, whereas majority of claws will cost upwards of $80,000 to $100,000 for patients and are not currently covered by the New South Wales government law. If this type of project was introduced, it would allow for people to have this product covered by the government and for free, which was really exciting and was why it was kind of different to the rest of what exists out there currently. My product works by the user using a Bluetooth EEG brain scanner, which he places on his head and reads the electrical signals pulsing through his head. This sends a Bluetooth signal out, which sends out his concentration levels, his own concentration levels. This signal is then picked up by a Bluetooth module, which hacks the signal of the Bluetooth headset. It then takes information from the Bluetooth module to a processing Arduino board, which I code to open and close a solenoid when the user's concentration levels peak at around 80 to 100%. So I was inspired to do this project by one Anzac Day. I was walking down the streets near Martin Place handing out rosemary with part of my cadet unit, and I walked up to a gentleman who was in his army uniform and I asked him if he'd like a piece of rosemary. I handed it to him in his right arm and I said, "Would you like a pin with that?" And he's like, "No mate, it's all cool, I don't have another arm." I couldn't pin it on. So he pulled out his arm and he was missing his hand. And that kind of shocked me a bit because it's just a bit confronting. And I remembered that when I was initially sketching and designing my projects and brainstorming, and I thought, what inspires me? And I think that really shocked me that this person doesn't have access to, even though he served our country, doesn't have access to a working or functioning prosthesis that will enhance his life. And I think that was definitely the need in society, that there are people who are denied access to a portion of the life which we just take for granted, like our limbs. So I was really inspired to create something that would allow everyone to have access to something at least that will improve their life in some way. So initially I started off by sketching initial designs. Once I had a finalized rough idea of what I wanted to do, I started prototyping in a CAD software. I made 3D CAD models, and once I was happy with a 3D CAD model, I printed it using a laser cutter. I cut it into 3mm MDF just to start to understand how the dimensions of the stuff work, because it's a cheap material. I did that several times until I finally reached a design I think was optimal, and then I approached a company to get it cut out of aluminum, which is a lightweight and durable material. One of the major challenges was definitely finding the motivation to figure everything out yourself from the bottom up, and I think that was a major challenge I had to overcome. If you're studying design technology in year 12, the best advice I can give you is make sure you firstly find a genuine need, and secondly think everything through. Measure twice, cut once is what I always used to say. Because instead of spending this 8 hours printing a 3D model and realizing it was wrong, you could have saved it by spending the extra 10 minutes making sure your design was perfect before you printed it. So measure twice, cut once, I'd say.